Alright, so I've taken the dies off the press so we could take a closer look and kind of see how these things handle the stress. And let's start with the bottom die. The first thing I notice when I look at this, die is the mill scale. The mill scale that comes from making the steel, it's peeled off in this spot and this spot. And also on the other side, this spot and this spot. The mill scale has been peeled off in those places. If you've ever seen steel being bent on, say, a hydraulic press brake or something like that, you'll know the mill scale comes off anywhere where it's being bent. So what this says to me is this says that this is the area of the highest stress on this part is these two locations, right here and right here. They underwent so much stress that they actually yielded to the force and permanently bent. So that's obviously a design failure. I should have made this middle, the web of the beam, I guess, it should have been made thicker so it could have handled the stress better instead of yielding those two locations. Let's take a look at the bottom, or the top die, my bad. The top die is even more interesting. If you look here, we also see mill scale has been peeled off here, 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 and here. So what this means is that this quadrilateral framework, this whole quadrilateral frame has been racked into a diagonal shape. And to kind of explain what I mean by that, I kind of put together this little representation. It's a piece of copper wire wrapped up into the general shape. And basically what happens is when a shape like this goes under load, if the load is perfectly straight down, it's fine until it starts to bend. And as you can see, once it bends, it can rack like this. So this is a little bit extreme, but as you can see, the quadrilateral has been racked. And you can see most of the bend is in this corner here and up in this corner here, which you can kind of see this corner here and this corner here have the most mill scale that's peeled off in those locations. So that's the reason why I added this diagonal. This diagonal wasn't there originally, and I put it on after I saw that this whole quadrilateral was going to become like what would have happened ultimately is it would have squashed all the way down just like that. But this diagonal there that goes across just like so, it prevents it from becoming squashed farther. I hope that makes sense. So also on the top die, you'll see this, like the plate, the contact plate that actually comes in contact with the things that are being crushed, like the wire for instance, has been completely warped and kind of squished to a degree. I hope this is picking that up. If it's not, my apologies. So yeah, you can see that there's some pretty severe deformation right there, indicating that this plate should have been made out of probably a hardened, or yeah, definitely a harder steel, possibly thicker too, I would say. So yes, to conclude the video, I'd like to say that this is definitely not the most efficient way to harvest copper from wire. There's plenty of better ways. I mean, honestly, your best option if you have a lot of copper wire sitting around is probably just to take it to your scrapyard and get your money with it, you know. And really, this technique, it didn't even work with household wire, so that's what you're most likely to have on hand is your household wire. It didn't even work with that. But if you have a lot of this heavier gauge wire, this kind of stuff here, I'm not really sure what it's called, but it's for like larger amount of power, like when the power is coming into your house from the street, they use stuff like this. I'm no electrician, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what this is. But if you have lots of this, this crushes pretty well and the insulation comes off pretty easily. So that's what I would recommend if you decide to use this process. But even though it wasn't as successful as I hoped, it was definitely still an interesting project. So thanks for watching.